Muhammad Ali. Jinnah, the greatest hypocrite South Asia ever produced. Muhammad Ali Jinnah divided an entire civilization around one proposition. He argued that Hindus and Muslims were not simply two religious communities living in the same country. He said they were two nations. He said they represented two civilizations. He said their histories, cultures, religions, and social systems were so fundamentally different that they could no longer share one political home. That proposition helped divide British India. Millions of human beings crossed newly created borders. Families were uprooted. Communities that had lived together for centuries were torn apart. Hundreds of thousands died in the violence surrounding partition. Pakistan was born. But there is a devastating problem with Jinnah's theory. Jinnah himself could not live according to it. His ancestry contradicted it. His religious habits contradicted it. His food contradicted it.
His whiskey contradicted it. His sect contradicted it. His mansion contradicted it. His daughter contradicted it. His grandson contradicted it. His great-grandsons contradicted it. Every time the supposedly permanent wall between Hindu and Muslim civilization entered Jinnah's private life, the wall disappeared. The most damaging witness against Muhammad Ali Jinnah is therefore Muhammad Ali Jinnah himself. Begin with the man who created a country around Muslim political identity. Jinnah was hardly an example of traditional Islamic observance. Biographical accounts describe him drinking whiskey. They describe him eating pork. They describe him eating ham sandwiches. They describe a man who rarely entered a mosque. Rafiq Zakaria wrote that Jinnah could not read the Quran, did not pray, and did not fast. Other biographers also describe a thoroughly anglicized man whose personal habits were far removed from the religious identity around which he mobilized millions. Jinnah dressed like an English gentleman. He wore Savile Row suits. He embraced Western manners. He lived much of his personal life according to the habits of the British elite. There is nothing inherently wrong with drinking whiskey, eating pork, wearing English clothes, or living a secular life. The hypocrisy lies elsewhere. The hypocrisy lies in demanding that millions of other people organize their political destiny around a religious boundary that he himself repeatedly ignored. Jinnah could cross that boundary whenever he wished. Millions of ordinary people were then told that the same boundary was so absolute that an entire country had to be divided because of it. Then there was the contradiction of language. Jinnah advocated Urdu as the national language of Pakistan and as the political language of Indian Muslims. But Jinnah himself could neither speak nor write Urdu fluently. He chose instead to address the illiterate and semi-literate Muslim masses of India in English, the language of their colonial rulers. The leader who demanded Urdu from millions relied upon English for himself. Even the language of Muslim nationhood was a standard he imposed more easily upon others than upon his own life. Then there is Jinnah's own ancestry. Jinnah came from a Khoja family whose ancestors had been Hindus before converting to Islam. His own family history, therefore, contained the very civilizational crossing that his later political theory treated as almost impossible. His Hindu heritage was not some distant abstraction unrelated to the argument. It demonstrated that the supposedly permanent Hindu-Muslim boundary had already been crossed within his own bloodline. Jinnah's own ancestry was a living example of cultural and religious transformation. His family did not descend from a population separated from Hindus since the beginning of time. His ancestors had been Hindus. They converted. Their descendants became Muslims. One of those descendants eventually created Pakistan by arguing that Hindus and Muslims represented civilizations too different to remain politically united. His own bloodline undermined the absolutism of his argument. Then comes another contradiction.
Jinnah was not even a member of the Sunni Muslim majority that would dominate Pakistan. He belonged to the Shia tradition. He was therefore a minority within the Muslim population, whose supposed political unity formed the philosophical basis of Pakistan. And what happened to Shia Muslims in the country Jinnah created? They became targets of sectarian violence. Shia Muslims have been attacked and killed in Pakistan by Sunni extremist organizations for decades. The country supposedly created because Muslims required protection from domination by another religious majority, could not protect members of its own founder's sect from persecution by fellow Muslims. That fact destroys another assumption behind the two-nation theory. Islam itself did not create one politically indivisible nation. Sunni and Shia remained distinct. Other Muslim sects remained distinct. Ethnicity remained distinct. Language remained distinct. Regional identity remained distinct. Religion did not abolish human difference merely because Pakistan had been created. The theory promised unity. Reality produced another set of divisions. Now look at Jinnah's house. Before partition, Jinnah built South Court, his magnificent mansion on Malabar Hill in Bombay. Then came partition. Then came Pakistan. Then Jinnah became Governor General of the Muslim homeland he had fought to create. Yet he did not simply abandon his Bombay mansion as though India had become an alien civilization. He kept it. He reportedly rejected an offer of 18 lakh rupees because the buyer would not meet his price of 20 lakh. Apparently, the supposedly unbridgeable civilizational divide could still be negotiated in rupees. More revealingly, Jinnah asked Jawaharlal Nehru to preserve the house. Sri Prakasa, India's first High Commissioner to Pakistan, recorded that Jinnah hoped that he might someday return to Bombay and live there again. Think about the contradiction. Jinnah persuaded millions that Muslims required a separate homeland because Hindu-majority India could no longer be their political home. Yet Jinnah himself wanted the possibility of returning to his own home in Bombay. He wanted Pakistan for the nation. He wanted Bombay for himself. His speeches declared separation permanent. His property arrangements suggested something considerably more flexible. Then came his only child. Dina Jinnah married Neville Wadia. Neville Wadia was a Parsi. Jinnah objected to the marriage, but his own daughter crossed the religious boundary anyway. The architect of separation could not maintain that separation inside his own family. After partition, Dina did not settle permanently in Pakistan. She eventually lived in New York. She attended her father's funeral in Pakistan in 1948. Then she returned to the life she had chosen outside the country he created. The only child of the founder of Pakistan had Pakistan available to her. She did not choose to build her life there. Then came Jinnah's grandson. Dina's son, Nusli Wadia, was raised in his father's Zoroastrian tradition. He did not become a Muslim. He did not become a Pakistani. He became one of India's most prominent businessmen. He built his career and fortune in Bombay. He became associated with the Wadia Group, Bombay Dyeing, and Britannia Industries. The grandson of the founder of Pakistan prospered in the very Hindu-majority India that Jinnah's political theory had declared incapable of accommodating Muslims as an equal political nation. Then came another generation. Jinnah's great-grandsons remained connected to India. Nes Wadia became a prominent Indian businessman. Jahangir Wadia became involved in major Indian business enterprises. They were not Pakistani Muslims. They did not move to Pakistan to continue the legacy of their famous great-grandfather. The political dynasty ended almost before it began. The religious line ended. The Pakistani line ended. Jinnah created a country for Muslims. His own descendants did not remain Muslim. Jinnah created Pakistan. His own descendants did not become Pakistanis.
Jinnah declared that Hindu-majority India could not provide an acceptable political future for Muslims. His own descendants built successful lives in India. There may be no more devastating contradiction between a political theory and a family history. And then there is Pakistan itself. Pakistan has spent much of its political history defining itself in opposition to India. The state created to solve communal conflict became consumed by military rivalry, sectarian violence, political instability, and repeated struggles over its own identity. The promise was that separation would solve the Muslim political problem. Separation did not solve it. Pakistan itself split in 1971 when East Pakistan became Bangladesh. Religion had supposedly been strong enough to divide India. Religion was not strong enough to keep Pakistan united. Bengali language, culture, political power, and regional identity proved stronger than the claim that all Muslims naturally formed one political nation. That alone should have forced a serious reconsideration of the theory on which Pakistan had been created. And finally, there is Jinnah himself. Muhammad Ali Jinnah did not enjoy a triumphant old age inside the country he created. He died in 1948. He died of tuberculosis. By the end of his life, he reportedly weighed less than 100 pounds. He was severely weakened by disease. He became so frail that he required assistance. The man who had spent years fighting to create Pakistan survived its creation by barely more than a year. And what did he leave behind? He left a country, but he did not leave a Muslim family dynasty inside that country. His only daughter did not make Pakistan her home. His grandson was not a Muslim. His great-grandsons were not Muslims. His descendants did not continue his political project in Pakistan. His descendants did not continue his religious identity. His descendants did not continue his national identity. The founder of Pakistan left no direct line of descendants living in Pakistan and carrying forward the Islamic national identity upon which his political career had been built. His daughter chose another life. His grandson chose India. His great-grandsons chose India. His descendants chose Zoroastrianism rather than Islam. His own sect remained vulnerable to persecution inside Pakistan. His beloved Bombay mansion remained in the India he had divided from Pakistan. His ancestral bloodline led backward into Hindu society. His descendants led forward into Zoroastrian India. Islam stood in the middle of that family history for only a few generations. Pakistan stood in the middle of his political history for barely more than a year before his death. Look at the totality of the life. A man of Hindu ancestry declared Hindu and Muslim civilizations fundamentally separate. A man whose own ancestors crossed from Hinduism into Islam insisted that the boundary between those communities demanded political partition. A man who ate pork became the founder of a Muslim homeland. A man who drank whiskey mobilized millions around Muslim political identity. A man described as unable to read the Quran became the supreme political spokesman for Muslims in British India. A Shia Muslim created a Muslim state in which Shias themselves would later face persecution. A man who declared Hindu-majority India unacceptable to Muslims kept a mansion in Bombay and hoped to return to it. A man who opposed religious intermarriage watched his only daughter marry a Parsi. A man who created Pakistan left a daughter who did not live there. A man who created a Muslim homeland left descendants who were not Muslims. A man who insisted Muslims could not flourish within India left descendants who became wealthy and successful Indians. That is not merely irony. That is a political life contradicted by almost every intimate fact surrounding it. Jinnah succeeded in creating Pakistan. But judged by the principles on which he justified that creation, his own life was a failure. His family did not follow him. His descendants did not follow him. His religious boundary did not survive inside his own family. His national boundary did not survive inside his own family. His sect did not find the security his theory promised. His country itself eventually divided. The theory survived in speeches. It failed inside the founder's own home. Jinnah ate across the boundary. He drank across the boundary. His ancestors crossed the boundary. His daughter crossed the boundary. His mansion remained across the boundary. His grandson built his fortune across the boundary. His great-grandsons lived across the boundary. His own family demonstrated again and again that the supposedly permanent wall between civilizations was never permanent at all. The wall existed most powerfully when Jinnah needed millions of other people to believe in it. Inside his own life, it repeatedly disappeared. That is why Muhammad Ali Jinnah was the greatest hypocrite South Asia ever produced. Please visit www.reasonandrevolt.com for more information.